So I come outside the Vara battery here at Kristiansund, where we have the second largest gun ever built on land. And I'm going to walk you around the outside and give you a view from up on top of the battery. So we have these tracks here where the ammunition could be brought in through the doors and into the rotunda as we saw before. I'm going to run up these steps. And this really is, as we say, a very, very big gun. It took 10 men to load it and 19 men to fire it. Makes you wonder what they're all doing, really. But anyway, and here is the gun from the outside. We'll walk up and around to give you a full view, and then we can go inside. Has a range of 55 kilometres, fires a 38 centimetre shell weighing 800 kilograms, and would fire halfway to Denmark, which is somewhere over there. And as we come round out of the sun, you can really see just how big this hole. So just the hole emplacement itself is enormous. The actual cannon is as well. The gun itself is 22 metres long, and it weighs 300. Sorry, I beg your pardon. It's 28 metres long, and it weighs 337 tonnes. Taking the cap off very nicely for us. When it was fired, it could only actually be fired around 100 to 150 times, and then it would be deemed defunct. Not that it was ever actually fired anywhere near that number of times, but its life was relatively short. And it actually removed around 400 millimetres of steel from the barrel of the gun with each firing. So what they actually had was a smaller insert which they could put into the barrel in order to do practice firings, and it would fire a 28 centimetre shell, a small one, just to give the gunners some practice. And when we go inside, we can see how that was done. So let's go into the gun here. If we just look down here, you can see all the way around there's these little platforms that lift up, which is, as the gun moved round, this would allow the ammunition to be brought up. And if we go into the gun here, this is where the ammunition would come up here. So we've got the charge would come up from one side, the shell would come up from the other, and effectively they're then combined on this bed here, which is then moved forward and loaded into the gun there. This beauty here, running along the wall, is the ramrod to make sure it's rammed home. And you can see that there's a little housing that opens at the back there so that they can push the rod through because it's so long. Bearing in mind the barrel is 28 metres long as well. And this is the practice firing barrel, which just a small one which would be inserted for doing practice firings. Elevation was controlled using these devices here. They would get the ranging information that they needed from downstairs where we saw, and then the spent charge would be disposed of here, and it would drop down into that device. But if we look down here, look at the size of this 38 centimetre wide barrel, 28 metres long, and at the far end is halfway to Denmark. Quite an astonishing bit of warfare, really. Very, very impressive.